In this video I'm going to talk about inserting components. Now components are more commonly known as families, and they're the full 3D elements that can be placed at appropriate locations and heights and which interact with the building elements around them. For example, a lighting fixture can be designed to be hosted by a face, such as a wall or ceiling, or to be standalone by itself, which can be on a workbench or floor, etc. I'll briefly show you about doing this now. Now, to insert a lighting fixture or plumbing or mechanical, we need to be in the Systems tab. Here we can insert air terminals using this icon here, mechanical equipment using this one, plumbing fixtures, sprinklers, electrical equipment, light fixtures, and then this one here where it's got device. If we just click on this and scroll and open up, we can see the other elements of the electrical items, such as electrical fixtures, such as socket outlets, etc., communications, data, fire alarm, lighting, nurse call, security, and telephone. If we wanted to use one of these other ones, we'd just go in and click on these. If we haven't got a family loaded, it will ask us, do we want to load one? In this instance, we're going to click no, and you'll see that that's the icon that's displayed there. If we click on any of the others, if it's already preloaded, again the contextual tab changes, the options bar shows up, and the properties changes to suit the item that you've got. To choose a different item, we can click on here and see what other items are selected, and then we can place our item. What we're going to do in this example is to click on light fixtures. So again, as we mentioned earlier on, wall-based families, ceiling-based families, or standalone. So we are going to click a wall light, and as you can see from the options here, we've got multiple different lights that we can choose from. So we'll start off with the wall lamp, which is this one, and as you can see, place on vertical place is already selected. Looking also on here, it tells us the schedule level, so in other words, this is the floor level that we're working in. So level 1 lighting, floor plan, 1 lighting. If we were to change this to level 2, then it won't appear on this drawing, it will appear on this one that's unselected, and that's the floor above. So you need to make sure that you're on the right level that you're working in, and then this is the height from the floor, in other words 1200 mil above the floor level, and then we can just place that item in place, and there it is. Now if we use our section line, we can double check exactly where this is, and there we have it. Now in this example here, we've also got a ceiling already in there. But for us to make sure that we can attach to this, first off we need to go back to this particular view, and we can check to see whether we can attach a luminaire to this one. So we're going to click on luminaire. We want to click on face because we want to attach it to the face of the item, and we want to select a recessed downlight. Now as you can see, the schedule level's blank, it doesn't know where we want to put it. If we choose level 1, it's going to attach to the floor of level 1. So there doesn't seem to be anything for this ceiling, so as we've shown on from a previous video, we're going to attach a work plane to it, a reference plane, and then we're going to click and name it level 1 ceiling. And now when we go back here and we try and place our luminaire, we're going to choose, instead of place on face, we're going to choose place on work plane. And then from this options bar here, we're going to find reference plane, level 1 ceiling, which is what we've put in. And now when we place this in place, you can see it there, and double check, and there's our luminaire. But as you can see, it's below the ceiling as opposed to being above the ceiling. So all we need to do is click on that and use this flip command to flip it the right way around. When we go back to here, we can still see it in view. Nothing's changed. All that's changed is we've made sure that it's above the ceiling as opposed to being below the ceiling. Now, when we're trying to place a standalone item, we've got a lot more control on where it goes, or rather, we don't have a lot of control. Basically, it's at the level 1 plane, and we can control it by putting in the height here. If we do nothing, it will appear on the floor, such as this. Now we can manually maneuver it. Like this, or what we can do, if we already know this height, 860, we can go back and we can place this in and tell it we want it to be 860 from level 1, and it automatically goes there. Again, we can set a reference plane, cabinet top, and place another one in, and it automatically goes in on that reference plane. Something else to explain to you about when inserting components. If we look at the mechanical section here, this is when we've clicked on, we're in a mechanical view, we're on mechanical HVAC floor plan 1, and we've already got this particular family in place, which is an air handling unit. And as you can see, there's a few other options on these items. If we zoom in, you can see some of these connectors that we've got, such as the condensate drain. It's got out on it because that's an output of this particular unit. We've got an output here for the supply air. On this side here, we've got a return air connection, and then over here we've just got one pipe shown in this particular view, but there's actually two, and this is for the refrigerant pipework, and then obviously we've got an electrical connection. So it's worth taking your time to get to know and be familiar with these particular items. If we click on this edit family, we can see this a bit more detailed here. We'll just look at it in fine detail. So you can see there's the an outward air there, or that's the return air path. There's your refrigerant pipework, that's your drain pipework, and there's your supply air. And then this big green circle, this is your electrical connector. So it's worth getting to know your families and what they have built into them, and etc, etc.